Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30 because I've made your reservation.
I'm Rocco Bellagio. I'm Terry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine.
I'm Ren Stimpy.
here.
My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez.
I'm Paradise.
This is Jack Black.
This is Ohio Valley Wrestling, referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey. My name is Rudy Switchblade, and I am your OVW heavyweight champion. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes.
This is Jason Wayne. You better believe you just watched Triple Threat Talk.
And welcome everyone to yet another exciting edition of Triple Threat Talk, episode 39.
39?
39, one short of 40.
Very good.
I know, right? This kid went to elementary school right here.
It shows off.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had some more sad news in the world of music. We lost a great musician in the late, great Davy Jones.
We lost a monkey today.
Yes, we did, unfortunately. So, I guess that means we got one more coming, because you know what they say.
Rule of three.
Rule of three.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of interesting topics to talk about this week.
Okay, I got you.
We have the jet dryer
incident,
which we'll get into in a little bit. We have the ever-going soap opera regarding Ryan Braun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
A little Full Metal jousting, as it were.
Heck yeah.
And we got a comment about that.
CM Punk and Chris Brown in a Twitter war. What's that all about?
Twitter. It's pretty epic.
I don't know.
Twitter.
And of course, as always, our weekly updates and news regarding OVW, WWE, and the wonderful world of wrestling. But first, we kick things off with viewer
questions.
So kicking things off this
What
week.
was that word?
Viewer.
I like that.
Thank you.
Viewer.
I like that.
Viewer questions.
From the Tyrant 1232. He wants to know,
What does he want to know?
which division in WWE is worse?
Oh boy.
The tag team or the Divas?
You got a coin to flip.
Yeah, really.
I'm actually going to say the tag team because unlike the Divas, we actually don't see too many good tag team matches anymore unless it's two of the mega superstars together. But they're not really a tag team because that's just like promoting an event or something like CM Punk or like Cena and The Rock were. They're not tag team partners, you know, but I think I'm going to have to give the worst to the tag team division.
Let's be honest. Both of them are utterly pathetic. Utterly pathetic. But I'll answer the question.
Utterly.
Utterly
That
pathetic.
reminds me of True Blue.
Yeah, I took a picture of that. So anyway, back to the question at hand from Tyron 1232. I'm gonna have to go with the tag team division is better than the Divas division. The only reason I say that is because you have the champions in Primo and Epico, and you have other teams in there that you know you make the division somewhat entertaining. You have Primo and Epico, you have the
Primo and Epic.
Just saying, the Usos need to be in there. And then you had Air Boom, but that kind of went out the window because Evan Bourne's...
Because Evan Bourne's a fail.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
I think the tag division is more exciting to watch because it has some potential. The Diva division, it's completely pointless because you have a champion, Beth Phoenix. She faces people that are half her size, the other way, like less than her size. The matches are between 2 and 3 minutes tops, except like the match with her and Tamina is a rarity. It was actually a decent match. But the Diva division, they just don't really try as much as they used to back in like the Attitude Era and the era when they had Trish Stratus and Mickie James and all those people. So they're both, like I said, they're both utterly pathetic. But I think the Divas division is just slightly worse than the tag team division.
I agree with him. I think the Divas division is not that great. They don't have a lot of wrestlers. They have more of like eye candy models. They don't really have a lot of actual wrestlers, other than like he said, Beth Phoenix, Tamina, and Awesome Kong. I mean, Karma.
Eve Torres is good too.
Eve Torres is better.
Hosky.
Kelly Kelly has improved, but she's still not, nowhere to the level of. So, from Against All Odds 20. What are your guys' thoughts on the whole CM Punk Chris Brown Twitter war? We're actually going to get into that a little bit. during headlines.
You know, we'll get to that.
We're not
brushing
belittling
off
your question.
Yeah, we're not ignoring it. We're not ignoring it. We're just ignoring it for now.
From St. Augustine 6. So you mean to tell me?
What are you telling me?
That there's going to be 2 WWE pay-per-views in a row where the main event is not a championship match? What's going on here? Explain to me. How does this make sense?
I don't think it does. I don't think you're going to see The Rock and Cena as the main event, even though they're hyping it like it is supposed to be. I'm not sure what the card is going to be, but I could just see how bad that would reflect if that was the main event.
I completely disagree with you 150%. Last month, I guess it was kind of befuddling. Yes, I'm using big words today, ladies and gentlemen. Befuddling that the main event match for Elimination Chamber was Cena and Kane in the ambulance match. You'd figure it'd be at least one of the chamber matches.
He ate his Fruity Pebbles before the show started.
So that was kind of, again, befuddling.
He got his eye candy in with Cody Rhodes.
I can never finish a question, can I? Anyway, so...
Sorry.
So we agreed that we thought the chamber match being first, the WWE Championship was kind of odd. Thank you. Bless you. But Postmaster brought something up to my attention is that maybe they want to build Cena up more, than maybe that's why they made it the main event. I don't know. But this WrestleMania, the main event is definitely Rock and Cena. You know, absolutely. They're building it as the biggest match in WrestleMania history because it's 2 generations collide. The Rock, the generation of the Attitude Era, and Cena, the face of this generation, colliding at WrestleMania. So that makes sense being the main event. Last month, you can make an argument either way, but I guess the reason they're making these matches the way they are is because they're building these up more to be a more prolific feud and a more important match than the championship matches. Because right now, the championship matches are credible, like CM Punk and Jericho and Bryan and Sheamus. They're good matches, but they're not really up to the caliber of a match between John Cena and The Rock. So.
Right. And I mean, to say it's not the main event would be a fail because you're not gonna announce a match a year prior and it not be a main event.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the main event, it would be a fail.
And there's no way. Sorry to interrupt there, but there's no way with that match and how big it's going to be. There's no way anyone wants to follow that match.
No,
you've been interrupting a lot lately. You interrupted me last week. Now you're interrupting him.
But he has a true statement. Nobody wants to follow that match.
No.
But how do you think? People that after Michael's Taker fought at 25, like we gotta follow these guys? Give me a break.
I mean, no one wants to follow that match, but at the same time, 2 pay-per-views, one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year, or their biggest pay-per-view of the year, with no title match on the line after one where you had a fail of an ambulance match. That was the title.
Well, again, like you said, we don't know the card yet. Because honestly, last year I thought Taker and Triple H might have been the main event. It was not. The main event was Miz and Cena, so you could see Jericho Punk as the main event. I don't know yet. Maybe Sheamus and Bryan.
I don't think so.
We don't know.
To his point, we don't know yet. But I agree that I think the main event should be The Rock and John Cena.
I wouldn't have a problem with Rock and John Cena being the main event if a title match wasn't the main event. Was the main event last time. Right. I really wouldn't. Right.
Well, like I said, that was because they wanted to build John Cena, and it had been the biggest feud.
He's already been built.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well,
they gotta hype him up for the WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So. Back again to Against All Odds 20.
Back.
Yeah. Apparently, he really wants you to answer this question. This is the second week in a row, and I know you've been dodging it. We're sorry, but he's been dodging.
I'm not dodging anything.
He hasn't wanted to answer this question, all because it's a Kevin Steen question, and we all know he's touchy about Kevin Steen. But so. If you could book Kevin Steen to come to WWE, what would you do with him and why?
Well, how would I book myself going to WWE now?
Well, if you booked yourself to go to WWE, the ratings are already bad for SmackDown, and they would probably put you on SmackDown. So you would probably lose to reruns of The Impact if you were on SmackDown.
You would lose to reruns of I Love Lucy.
Honey, I'm home. Oh.
39 episodes. I'm still putting up with this tomfoolery.
You put up with tomfoolery every day.
This is true.
We have to put up with your tomfoolery whenever you talk about tennis.
All right, answer the question.
Thank you.
We're running off course.
Yeah, we've been off course for 39 episodes. We're not going anywhere now.
Yeah, exactly.
How about Kevin Steen coming to WWE? What would I do and why? Well, it's no surprise to anyone that Kevin Steen is a tremendous talent. Obviously, he's known as the King of Wrestling or Mr. Wrestling in ROH. So there's no mystery that he's obviously a great performer. I would say you put him obviously in FCW to build him up and learn how to run the ropes with the WWE crowd and get him over there. And then you slowly bring him in on SmackDown, put him in some dark matches so the crowd has exposure to him. And then put him in a feud with somebody, maybe a mid-card champion at the time, depends on who it is. Give him some exposure in a title. Don't have him win the title, obviously. But have him some exposure against somebody for a feud. He loses the feud, then he goes back down, starts facing some people like kind of jobber people, and works his way back up and shows what he can do in the ring and proving how good he is in the ring.
I'm so glad you answered like that because I have to say I completely disagree. He's the king of wrestling, right?
Mr. Wrestling.
Mr. Wrestling. Mr. Wrestling. Who else is a Mr.? Either, or like the best at what they do. CM Punk or Chris Jericho. So I think you wait till after this WrestleMania, you put him in with the loser of that match. Because, you don't get a title shot right off the bat unless your name is Sheamus.
Well, they'll have a rematch.
Right.
Rematch clause.
Right. But what I would do is start feuding him with the loser of that match, the best in the world or the best at what they do, and go against the King of Wrestling or Mr. Wrestling. I think that would be a great way to put him in.
He's not in the top tier of WWE main eventers.
He's
so
not.
No way.
No. Hold on. I'm getting sick of you guys interrupting me.
We're not interrupting you.
Yeah, you are.
You were done talking.
No, I was not.
Yes, you were.
But to that point, though, Sheamus was in the top tier.
But he didn't come right to the main event. He did not come to the main event.
He was in ECW for a while.
Yes.
He won the championship like pretty much one of the...
But he was in ECW. He earned his stripes.
He ran through every... No one knows the history of Sheamus more than I do. He ran through ECW pretty quickly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then I agree. He went to Raw and he faced nobody. He faced like Jamie Noble and he faced like random people here and there that I couldn't even name. And then the Battle Royal where he got the shot against Cena... People there like Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, and then there's Finlay. Woo.
But the fact of the matter is, they should try something new. This guy is proven in ROH.
Yeah.
To say he's not proven is an egregious statement.
Right. I completely agree, though. Believe me, I was one of the people that was so excited to see Sheamus win the WWE title, but it was way too early. I was excited for it.
I thought it was good too. I thought it was good.
It was
to
different.
do something new,
different,
and it worked.
Yeah,
he's still in the mainstream.
Right.
If they wanted Kevin Steen to work out, simply my point is, some people might say it was too soon, but he already is in the top tier ROH. He's proven in ROH.
Well,
to say he's not a proven talent is totally egregious and not even a good statement at all. So therefore, maybe you should try to work a little bit differently. Like, try a Sheamus angle again. It wouldn't hurt. And then that could even set up a Sheamus and Kevin Steen feud in the future.
The only reason I said what I said is because now I tend to doubt it, but there's probably some people out there that watch the WWE program. We're not as familiar with Kevin Steen as other people are.
Right.
They always just throw him in there. Maybe some there, it's like, who the hell is this guy?
I mean, everyone's heard of Kevin.
Well, not everybody. Not everybody. Some people,
everybody's heard of ROH.
Some people don't even know who ROH is.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying, get him over some of the audience first, then have him build up. That's just me. So.
And to me, the top level of ROH is about equivalent to the mid-level of WWE.
Well, I like Dave Richards and Roderick Strong.
But I mean, from a standpoint of talent goes,
right.
I mean, you're going to sit here and tell me that Davey Richards, Roderick Strong, and Kevin Steen are just as good as CM Punk, Chris Jericho, and John Cena? No way.
No, you're taking...
Well, skill-wise, they're better than John Cena.
I'm just talking about from a main event status.
Yeah.
So you're not going to throw him against them three right off the bat. No. It would be perfect for him to go against like Cody Rhodes
That's what I was saying.
or somebody like that. That would make the most sense. Get him exposure. Get him on TV because you all know the mid-carders get a lot of exposure because, they're thrown in there.
Yeah.
Even if he's in there for a couple minutes. Put him on both shows.
Right.
Put him on Superstars. I know it's online, but
give him exposure.
Put him on Superstars.
I'm from the old school. Like back when I was watching the beginning, like the Attitude Era. I liked the guy from. He came from. You saw him on TV, and he'd fight people. He'd fight this guy, that guy. Then he'd work his way up. You see him. Okay, this guy's pretty good in the ring. Then he gets good. He gets better. He gets better. He goes into a mid card feud. Wins that title, holds that for a while, and goes for a main event stuff.
Right.
That's right.
Right. From the prototype 400,
John Cena. Or not.
He got mad.
What do you think of Ryan Braun's suspension? We're going to get into that as part of our
Again,
we're not dodging.
We're not ignoring it, but we're ignoring it right now.
Because it's a headline, so yet again, you viewers have gave us some stuff to talk about, so good job, guys. From Undead Warrior 75.
Back.
What do you guys think about the Cody Rhodes Big Show angle? We'll let you have the floor.
Well, first, I'm going to play this clip. This is what I think of it first.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Yeah. No, sir, I don't like it. Okay? First of all, Cody Rhodes, why is he facing the Big Show? As they continue to write things that I have no idea what they're writing.
I'm putting this in the clip notes.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, it was originally supposed to be the Big Show versus Shaquille O'Neal at WrestleMania. That didn't happen.
That's a fight.
That didn't happen. So, now you have Cody Rhodes interfering in some matches with the Big Show, and now he's getting involved, and it's probably going to be for the Intercontinental title. First you thought it was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Booker T. Then you thought it was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Goldust. Now it's Cody Rhodes versus the Big Show. No words can describe how I feel about that. Because if he wins at WrestleMania and wins the Intercontinental title, the only thing I can hope for is that A, Cody wins it back very quickly, or B, he's en route to winning a world title. So, but if the Big Show wins, I will probably fall off the face of the earth.
No, you won't.
So you two can continue the question wherever you roll. I'm sure
I can answer this a lot shorter than he did. Big Show and Wade Barrett, really? No, I wouldn't take the chance of him.
Barrett?
No. Listen to me. I'm making a
Okay.
tangent. I would not risk Cody Rhodes in the ring with Big Show right now the way he's been performing.
Preach it!
That was my tangent. See, sometimes you guys gotta let me go a little bit sometimes.
Well, sometimes you just...
Yeah, because I think the doctor's still mad at the Big Show for tossing Wade Barrett and just...
Who isn't mad about that? That's ridiculous.
Oops.
Yeah, the angle is totally terrible, and Big Show's probably going to win, and Big B's going to, explode. You're going to explode worse than the jet dryer at Daytona after that. I don't know. We're going to have to get some Tide detergent like they did at Daytona and clean this stuff
My head will probably explode like a watermelon.
Yeah. From Undead Warrior 75 again.
Again?
He checks in.
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
Good question.
Does WrestleMania look like the Attitude Era type WrestleMania to you?
No.
Cena versus Rock, Jericho versus Punk, Taker versus Triple H, and possibly Rhodes versus Big Show. Your thoughts?
It's not like an Attitude Era per se, but I agree with it's possible like the last generation versus this generation with Rock and Cena and Jericho and Punk.
Don't even say the next match because it's not.
Taker Triple H?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say like that generation, but it's like the last of their breed. They're like the last of the Attitude Era generation going at it. And then you have Rhodes versus Big Show. I wouldn't really count Big Show as the Attitude Era. He's more of like the 2000s era, which was still kind of the Attitude Era. And Rhodes, but again, we already went off on how we feel about that match. So, but it's good to see kind of generations collide in this WrestleMania. It'd be interesting to see how those feuds work. And we got about a little over 30 days to see how it progresses. So,
I can appreciate the bridge there, the context in that question, but I just don't see. I see some underlying tones of the Attitude Era in this one, like the two Attitude Eras, Triple H and Undertaker. And of course, Taker wasn't really Attitude Era; he started up in the '90s, early '90s. So, but it's one of those things that I can appreciate where that question came from. It's just I don't think it's an overall Attitude Era.
Yeah, I agree with him. I don't see it. I mean, the Attitude Era was, The Rock and Stone Cold, and what's Stone Cold going to do to torment the living hell out of Vince McMahon next, and stuff like that. The Nation of Domination, DX in its prime. I mean, that is the Attitude Era. Yeah, I'm like him. I can see you saying. You want to think it's the Attitude Era? I think it's just epic booking by WWE this time. I mean, Last year, we all know, I mean, I don't care what he says, WrestleMania was a fail. It was one of the worst WrestleManias I've ever seen, and I've watched all 27 of them. And it just was not that good.
It really wasn't.
It was not. I realize it was good for you because you were there. It was the experience of it. I can understand that. I'm sure if it goes off as bad, I'll say it was good because I'm going to be there. So, I just, the thought of, because we were reviewing it today, as a matter of fact, over dinner, I was telling him about, reviewing the results of last year, and I was reading some of these matches, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe we actually sit and watch it. Like, Snooki? Really? Snooki? Come on, what a
I didn't say that was good.
No, I know you didn't. I'm just saying.
They had to disinfect the ring after Snooki left.
I think so.
Breaking news, she's pregnant, by the way.
Wow.
Somebody actually touched it? Yeah.
Wowzer, wowzer. Wow, wow, wow.
Good for you, Snooki. Good for you.
Nice job.
That was a fail.
From the Michael Cage. Do you think, and this never gets old, do you think...
I'm asking this question every week.
Do you think WWE will ever give Drew McIntyre the role he deserves, or have they given up?
I'm going to go with no for $1,000, Alex. They just don't know how to use one of their top talents.
Daily Double.
I've never been more embarrassed for the WWE than I do when they try to work how they use Drew McIntyre and see it fail week after week after week. It's really kind of turned humorous in a way because
humorous.
They're just completely lost with this guy. He's one of the best talents. Let's start writing him a little bit better.
I was
lost.
I was looking at you confused because, wasn't he called the Chosen One?
The Chosen One, yeah.
He's been chosen the job the last year and a half.
Seriously, this is ridiculous.
They need to start doing something with him. It's getting annoying. It's getting ridiculous because Vince McMahon personally hired him, so he was obviously up on a pedestal when he first got hired, called the Chosen One. Was there in WWE for about 6 months, won the Intercontinental title, very prestigious title. Not everybody wins that title. So he wins it, and then I think he eventually loses it. Obviously, but I don't think he won it back after he lost it. And then, what did he do since?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I don't understand what happened. I don't know if it has to do with the Tiffany thing. I don't know.
It doesn't matter at this point. They still kept him on the roster.
Yeah.
They need to use him appropriately.
I haven't seen him in weeks. Maybe after WrestleMania when the draft happens, he'll be drafted to Raw and actually do something. I don't know, but after the draft, I'm saying this right now. After the draft, if they do have the draft, or they usually do it around a little bit after WrestleMania in April, if he doesn't do anything after the draft, he'll be released by the end of the year.
Yep. He may be released before the draft. They always have cuts right around the draft.
Right.
He may be gone. From the DJ Becca Show.
Becca.
What's up, fella?
Fella.
If Dale Sr. was alive today, how different would NASCAR be? Well, since I'm the NASCAR guru and the expert of going left.
I'm going left!
Thank you. I will, address this question. And you all can chime in, of course, as always.
Of course.
I think it would be a lot different. And you never want to say that somebody dying helps something.
Right.
But in this case, I think the death of Dale Earnhardt helped NASCAR improve on all their safety. Like, they probably would have got there eventually,
but who knows when. Yeah.
Who knows when. But with the death of Dale Earnhardt, a lot of stuff was instituted right away. And it's well documented that he was a big proponent to be against the Hans device, the device that they have to wear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't like it at all. And back then, it wasn't mandatory. It was optional. You didn't have to wear it if you didn't want to. And then, of course, after all that happened, they made it wear. And then the institution of the safer barriers or the safer walls that were, all that came down. It would be different because it's not a 100% certain thing that all of these things that have come along since his passing would have taken effect yet. Like you said, they probably would sooner rather than later. But, and then again, it's hard to say it, but because of him, his death and what happened, NASCAR has improved on their safety tenfold. whereas before when he was around. So.
I agree. I completely agree. There's nothing more I can say there. It's again, like he said, you don't really want to say someone's tragic death helped the sport, but in a way it did, because they saw how the safety regulations for the sport were not as good as they should be, and they took precautions, and the sport is more safer for it.
I don't think Dale would be offended by us saying that, because he did what he loved. You know, he died doing what he loved, and I think that he would want to make sure that the drivers of tomorrow were safe. So I think he would. I don't think he would dislike that comment.
I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but it sounds kind of wrong. But in a way, he died for a good cause, if you think about it.
And I don't think he would have a problem with that.
And to close the questions this week, DJ Becker has a kind of a comical question that I thought would be funny to answer.
Tom Flory
question. If we were the SmackDown announce team,
what a fail.
Who would be Booker T? Who would be Michael Cole? And who would be Josh Matthews?
I don't think
Booker T, Michael Cole, Josh Matthews.
No. I would definitely think Booker T, Josh Matthews, Michael Cole.
Epic! Yes!
Oh, shucky ducky quack quack.
Nosebleed!
So with that,
That was an easy question.
I'm turning left to the doctor.
I'm going left.
Because he's going to anoint this week's viewer of the week.
Okay, Tony Chimmel. What a fail.
Oh my God.
Amateur.
You're an amateur hour. Do you not know our viewers?
I do know our viewers.
Our views
there was
are-
a question, I just can't remember who asked it.
Remember, some people ask questions that are headlines also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Views are questions.
That one and...
Yeah, I was going to say, I like the Prototype 400. I'm going to say Prototype because of the Ryan Braun.
And it was a headline. Yeah. So, Prototype 400, you are this week's Triple Threat Talk episode 39
Viewer of the Week.
So with that, Doctor, if you would please.
Doctor?
Yeah, headlines.
Headlines.
Yeah.
I say you sing every week.
I will give you
Go on American Idol and get out of my face.
And actually, Postmaster's going to get to go here in a second. We're going to save it for last because of NASCAR. It's going to be our final headline.
He's going left.
But CM Punk and Chris Brown had a pretty good Twitter war going on. They were tweeting back and forth like a bunch of birds. Kicked it off by saying that something about his girlfriend. I didn't need to beat my girlfriend to be famous.
I know you beat your girlfriend.
I don't think you can agree with that. I don't think that's disagreeable. I think that he's got a good point there because of the. And then what was interesting to me with this whole thing is Chris Brown kept on it. You know, like there were 2 tweets by CM Punk. Or 3. I'm sorry. One to kick it off. One to kind of, let him know I'm done with you. And then the last one was awesome because it said, all he said was, hashtag ain't no woman beater.
Right. Well, the thing that stood out to me was when Chris Brown tweeted about like wrestling and he said like, back in the day I had people like Roddy Piper and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Bret Hart, and he put hashtag not no punks.
Yeah.
That's kind of a shot at him, obviously.
Right, absolutely.
Chris Brown has no reason to call anybody a punk.
Really?
Right, absolutely.
After what he did, thank you. After what he did to Rihanna, a beautiful woman.
And apparently they're back together again. They're writing 2 songs together.
Well, women are stupid, okay?
Whoa!
Easy.
Easy. It's the I can fix him mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see.
She loves him.
Not stupid.
Well, in that sense, I love him. He won't do it again. Wake up, sister. He's gonna hit you again. If he does it once, he's going to do it again.
Wake up, sister. There's no such thing as a weaker sex.
Oh, my God. But he obviously had some anger issues.
I think our viewers are going to have some anger issues after that.
He has some anger issues, so obviously he hit her for obvious reasons. He has some problems going on that she takes him back, apparently. I don't know if they were back or not.
You know where she'd be? She'd be rolling on the river if she stayed with Chris Brown.
What's with this Jim Carrey stuff? What's next? The Mask? Dumb and Dumber?
Hit me again, Chris, and put some steak on it.
I can go a whole hour with Dumb and Dumber. But anyway.
But yeah, so definitely some interesting developments. They could probably go somewhere with this.
I don't know if they want to delve into that. I'm not sure. I mean, I know he made a comment on Raw with Jericho. We'll get into that later, but he said something about, like, this is not Dance with the Stars, and you're not Chris Brown, or something like that. He said something into that, so. But this Twitter thing, I think it's over. It was just on a little spat thing. But again, Chris Brown has no reason to call anybody a punk because he's the biggest punk I know of. So.
Do you guys know we had some alternative history happening recently? Because I sure didn't until about an hour ago, and I was finalizing the show notes. I saw a story. We'll have some details for you next week, a little bit more full. But basically, I just wanted to go ahead and get it out there. Breaking news.
Yes,
Tiger Woods has a book coming out, and apparently in the book it states that he trained to play golf with the Navy SEALs.
Really?
Yeah. What up?
It's just me, but I think the three of us here together are probably going to have to carry that book at the same time. Because if it talks about every single extramarital affair that he's ever had, I don't think there's a book big enough.
Chapter 400.
No, you know what? Chapter 401. Perkins waitress.
That's awesome.
I wanted some breakfast. Where's the Perkins? Then IHOP.
Chapter 402. SUV in a golf club.
Chapter 403. Denny's parking lot.
Whoa.
Chapter 406. After all of them, the new definition of keeping my putter in check.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
For those who watch this show, why do you still watch it?
But the Navy's come out and said, no, he didn't do that. He's not a Navy SEAL.
In the Navy, you can play.
Oh my God! Don't ever do that again.
No!
Don't you ever do that again.
Never do that again. And no, Tiger, you did not train with Navy SEAls. You did not pass go, but you did collect over $200.
What do you collect $200 for?
Well, I suggested.
Let's see, passing go, hope.
You mean? Hey, I wonder.
I bet he gave over $200 on multiple occasions.
What are you wondering there?
I'm wondering if maybe Tiger Woods could call up his women Hoskies.
Oh my God, Holskies.
Holskies, get it? Holskies.
Ryan Braun's verdict came in, not guilty.
No.
Guilty, but reversed. I'm sorry, you're right.
And now there's a complete uproar. If you don't know, or
now you know.
If you don't know,
thank you there, Captain Charisma. So Ryan Braun is at the end of last season. He is the National League MVP, All-Star slugger for the Milwaukee Brewers. About a month after the season's over, drug test comes out. Ryan Braun is found guilty for failing this drug test, kind of like Evan Bourne, I guess. So,
Evan Bourne failed it twice.
So 50 games suspension. His testosterone level was 20 times over.
It's because he's more of a man. That's what it is. He's more of a man than everybody else.
Really?
No, that's not what it was.
Okay.
Why are you yelling?
I know why.
Why are you excited? Because he's on testosterone.
Why are you yelling at these people?
He's fine.
People have clicked the X button, they shut off their computers, their laptops, their MacBooks, their whatever, and now all because of you.
And you're yelling. You're so hurtful.
I can't help it. I'm just more of a man.
He's so hurtful.
Anyways,
thank you.
I like the brawny man.
I know pun there.
Better than Mr. Steen.
I was trying to make a pun.
But you made one. So, a arbitrator ruled that Mr. Braun, there was a little mishandling, allegedly, thank you, in the case. So his sentence was overturned, his suspension was lifted. Now Major League Baseball has come out and they're even threatening a lawsuit, and they think that it shouldn't have been changed. But here's the thing. Ryan Braun is not saying no, he failed the test. That's not why he went to them and got the arbitrator, and that's not why it was overturned. His way of attacking the situation is he's saying that his specimen was mishandled, that the gentleman that took the specimen, I guess, decided to use it as a decoration in his basement refrigerator and didn't properly take it immediately from the FedEx handler to the proper authorities and do what was supposed to do, and therefore the decision is overturned, and suspension is lifted. So now this is a big story going on. You have your reigning National League MVP, who's basically defamating this guy's character. I mean, this guy, I think they said, has 20 plus years experience doing this kind of stuff. He doesn't make it a habit of, mixing things up. He's done this numerous of times. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think it was handled properly? How much further is this going to go?
I do think that I do like this angle that he's attacking. I'm going to start off with this is unique. This is genuine. This is something we haven't seen before. Attacking the way of transit. However, as someone who works in the medical field, I can tell you there's no way that was mishandled, because what they do is anybody who's ever had any kind of a urine test for any kind of drug test or anything like that, after you go in the cup, we're grown-ups here, we can talk about that. After you go in the cup, you cap it, and then there's a seal. There's a strip seal that you put on, and you personally sign.
Yes,
you sign it, and you date it, and you put it on. So as soon as that cap is broken, the strip is so weak that it snaps. And if there's anything on there, of course, that when you don't sign it, or the key thing is the signature.
Right.
Because if you forge that signature, you're dealing with forgery if you re-sign it. So as long as that signature's on that strip, there's no mishandling.
Absolutely. I mean, like
I said, I think that this is I think that this is just a unique perspective of how to look at it. I don't think that they thought it all the way through like how I just laid it out. But it's definitely unique. I don't see this going much further. I do see the National Baseball, the Major League Baseball. Everything is National League, so I got confused. But yeah, Major League Baseball, I do see them winning their appeal, and I do see Ryan Braun, serving a 50-game suspension.
I don't care for Bud Selig. That's all I have to say. But he doesn't handle things well sometimes, and this is obviously an interesting topic, because at first they said he was going to serve 50 games, and they say he's not. Now they're not sure. I think in the end he won't serve a suspension. I think Ryan Braun pled his case pretty well. I think they're going to probably find some things that it was kind of maybe tampered with or something like that. I have no idea, but I think Braun's going to win in the end. I think he was genuine in what he said in the press conference. I think he really meant what he said, and I just don't see him getting any suspension time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll get any suspension time. I totally agree with you on that. My thing is, I think what he's going to get himself into is a legal suit, because I think this guy's going to have a pretty good case of defamation of a character, and he's going to end up paying this guy a good substantial amount of money outside of court, because he's obviously not going to want to drag his name down any further. He's been through the legality of this stuff. I mean, all the different things that have come out, and him accusing this guy of doing this, and the handler of the specimen has had people backing him, saying this guy is very credible. He's been doing this. He's handled over hundreds of thousands of specimens, and this has never happened. And so it's definitely an interesting story. One we'll definitely keep our eye on, and we'll definitely keep updated here on the show.
And that is why, just real quick, that is why I do think he will wind up serving his suspension, is the fact that this guy's very credible. This guy's done it before. And when you talk about how someone's not doing their job properly like this, that does back you up into a defamation suit. And I do think one way or the other, Ryan Braun just got himself into a whole mess here.
So moving on from that, as we all know, every year in January, Daytona has a race called the Rolex 24. It's sports cars that race for 24 consecutive hours. Well, NASCAR was not supposed to take liking to that, because they tried to do that on their own, other than they made it the Daytona of 3 days.
Rain-tona.
Yeah, definitely Rain-tona. So a race that was supposed to be run on Sunday
afternoon.
For the first time ever, mind you.
First time ever in 54-year history, the Daytona 500 was postponed till Monday
evening.
Complete rain out. They decided that they were going to try to do it at noon. Well, still raining, still no chance. Sorry, John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena was supposed to wave the green flag and say, "Gentlemen, start your engines." Couldn't do it. He had to go to Raw.
He had to get to Raw, obviously, which is way more important than waving the green flag in a NASCAR race.
Well, for him, yeah.
For him, yes. So then they adjusted the start time to be 7 o'clock. So you're thinking, all right, here we go. Finally, green flag. 2 laps.
Time to go left.
2 laps.
Not 1, but 2.
Into the race. They barely get across the line for lap 2. And calamity.
Calamity Jane?
No, this calamity. No. Jimmy Johnson gets taken out. Danica Patrick's involved. I know, upset Big B. A big pile up, so it takes out 5 times. The champ is done. Danica Patrick, she's pretty much done. She finished the day 37th, like 68 laps down. So they're going along, you know, it's an okay race. They're going along, you're thinking, man, this is actually going to get done pretty fast. 40 laps to go, we have a caution. And if you watch NASCAR, you don't know the rules of NASCAR, and I don't know if you guys know this rule. If not, I'll explain it to you. The way it works is, on the lap before the green flag, people that have pitted or been in the garage for repairs that want to catch up to the back of the field are allowed to speed up to get to the back of the field. So, Juan Pablo Montoya was on pit road for repairs. He's going down the back stretch, and he's going into turn 3, and Big B, as you said, you know, they're supposed to go left, but for some reason, he goes, excuse me,
thank you.
Right, but not only does he go right, but take a look.
Just go left. Just go left.
Watch Montoya's car on this replay as we try to discern what may have broken.
Here
we're under caution.
Here he comes back here. You can see him coming. Jet dryer's up high. He sees the safety truck flashing its lights. Sparks fly. And around he goes.
Here's a different angle. See the safety trucks up top?
I mean, it just exploded. When it hit it, it just exploded.
And he was traveling at a high rate of speed, trying to catch back up at the field.
Back of the field.
Montoya climbs away, and the driver of the safety truck was helped from his vehicle, walked down the banking and away. We have some audio from Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, something massively broken. Yes, with the transmission or something. But if I try to accelerate, it just starts vibrating out of control every gear. Look at the rear of the car. Hey, we just broke and hit the safety truck. You alright? You alright? This guy's trying to get out of the car. He might be on fire. He's out of the car.
Oh my God.
Kablooey.
I mean, that was very scary. I mean,
that was pretty
in all seriousness, all kidding aside,
Yeah, absolutely.
both of those guys could have died.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if he would have hit that at the right impact, not only could it have wedged his car under that trailer, and that would have just been woof. It would have been bye-bye Pablo.
Whoosh.
Absolutely. It was a very scary situation. Very hats off to the Daytona safety crew for getting that detained, for getting that under control. They used everything from Speedy Dry to Tide detergent cleaning that up.
Tide detergent.
With nice, good plug for Tide there, right? I thought it was cool. I don't know if you saw this. It ended up being a 2 hour and 5 minute red flag to clean everything up, to get everything back in normal. Luckily, Juan Pablo Montoya walked away with no problems. The safety driver of the jet dryer truck was taken to the local hospital, checked out. He was more shaken up than anything.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean that was just absolutely wild. You know, I've watched NASCAR for 25, 26 years or better, and I thought I'd seen it all. When I saw that, I said, well, I haven't seen it all. But Brad Keselowski.
That's a full name.
Everybody knows Twitter. Everybody gets on Twitter.
Everybody.
How about tweeting while in your race car?
I saw that.
How about that? He tweets a photo while he's inside the cockpit of the car. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. I'm sorry. That is pretty
Takes a whole new term to no texting while driving.
And to tell you how cool it was, because of all his tweeting while he was in the car and tweeting during the break, and they were all standing around, the drivers were standing around on the backstretch. It looked like a traffic jam in L.A., and the drivers should just get out going, hey, so what's going on, you know. He gained 150,000 new Twitter followers in one night.
That's pretty
I mean, you had to be pretty epic.
You gotta be like Tim Tebow or Jeremy Lin to get those numbers.
To get those kind of numbers. That's absolutely amazing. So although he didn't win the race, he definitely won social media king of NASCAR for gaining 150,000 followers in one night. So we finally get back to the race, and it comes down to Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Matt Kenseth prevails, winning in his newly sponsored number 17 Best Buy Ford for Roush Fenway Racing.
It's his second 500.
His second Daytona 500. His other was back in 2008, a rain-shortened 500 where he passed Elliott Sadler just before the rain caution came out to win there. So we had everything. We had rain, we had fireballs, we had explosions, we had torn up race cars.
We had Tide detergent.
We had
tweeting.
To quote Jim Rome, I thought it was great. Jim Rome said this yesterday on the show. He said, we were one Will Smith appearance and some Pirates away from a Jerry Bruckheimer blockbuster. I was like, that's actually pretty funny. I thought that was pretty good. So, Monday Night NASCAR went off as a hit. I don't know if you guys know the average viewership of NASCAR. If you don't, it's no big deal. But take a guess on how many people tuned in to watch the race Monday night. Just take a wild guess.
25 million.
Higher than that.
32 million.
Close. It was the most watched race in history, I believe. 36.5 million people tuned in to watch Monday Night NASCAR. I guarantee you, next year, don't be shocked
Monday Night NASCAR.
if we don't have a Monday Night NASCAR at least once on the schedule, because it was such a big hit. I know it had to happen because of a rain delay, but wow. I mean, absolutely amazing. 36.5. So now they move off into the sunset, or the Wild Wild West, as it were, the desert. And they'll be at Phoenix this week, so check that out. You go from a super speedway to a 1 mile. A whole lot different racing this week than last week. So looking forward to it. NASCAR is definitely in full swing. And we'll be keeping our eyes peeled and open for that.
Keep it on.
Doctor, a little going straight now, if you would.
I'm not going to do the voice because there's a lot to cover on Full Metal Jousting. Guys, if you thought for a second that this may not be the thing for you, if you want to try to get into jousting, and I know we had a viewer that said that they
Michael
did.
Cage.
Michael Cage said, and I appreciate
What are you
that
talking
very
about?
much.
Are you actually physically getting into jousting, or actually watching it?
Actually watching.
Okay.
If you really want to try to, what is this thing? I suggest you get on historychannel.com, look up the 3rd episode of Full Metal Jousting, because the joust at the end from about minute 41, it started this week at minute 41 and went all the way up to the last minute of the show. This was an action-packed joust. There was a lot of stuff that happened. It was a very good joust. And a very high-scoring jousting match that I really just don't see being broken. Let's get into it. Red's Josh Avery versus the Black Team's Joe McKinley. Josh breaks the lance and Joe gets a hit on the first pass, making it 5-1 at first. The same thing happens in the next pass, making it 10-2. The next time around, it starts to get a little bit more interesting. It gets a little bit reversed. Joe breaks his lance, and then, and Josh gets a strike, making it 11-7. Up until then, Josh was kind of in a cool rhythm. excuse me, up until he got a lance broken across him, he was in a pretty cool rhythm. It kind of took him out of his rhythm a little bit. And then you could see it the rest of the match that this had happened. On the 4th pass, Joe gets a hit, and Josh gets a miss to make it 11-8. On the 5th pass, Joe's horse Praetorian starts the charge. And this is something that we hadn't seen so far. His horse is one of those horses, as soon as they loop around, they just start going for it. I mean, Praetorian is just all out all the time. So they actually had to call a forgiveness pass, which basically means that they had to rerun the 5th pass. So they call the 5th pass. We rerun it. Josh gets a hit, and Joe gets a miss to make it 12-8. On the 6th pass, both riders hit so hard that we have a double unhorsing. Sorry, we have a double unhorsing, and that was pretty good. It made
Sounds
it.
like there's a lot of horseplay.
I know there was a lot of horseplay, making it 22-18. On pass 7, both riders get a strike, making it 23-19. The final pass of the match was the only thing that kind of was a fail. Both riders do miss, and Josh Avery from the red team wins it 23-19. If you are going to start watching this, you want to give it a shot, you want to be entertained, start off with this joust. This was an action-packed joust all the way.
Interesting to say the least. So, moving on from going straight to a little dribbling.
Dribble driving.
Dribble drive this, shoot 3, go!
Actually had a lot happen this week in basketball. Iowa beat number 14 Wisconsin by 1 point, 67-66. St. Joseph knocks off number 23 Temple, 82-72. Excuse me. Cincinnati beat U of L 60-56. And breaking news going final. South Florida has also knocked off U of L 58-51 to final on that one. That one was at the Yum Center.
Utterly pathetic.
One score you did leave out, U of L did beat Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Yes, they did. Thank you. U of L did beat 58-55. 14 Wisconsin beats number 10 Ohio State at Ohio State. And like I told him, anytime you have a top 25 win over each other, it's not really an upset. This was an upset because Wisconsin beat them at Ohio State.
That's a huge win, especially since March Madness is right around the corner.
63-60 on that one. St. John's upset number 2 Notre Dame 61-58. Miami upsets number 22 Florida State 78-62. UK knocks off Vanderbilt 83-74, and Vandy does turn it back around and beat Florida, shockingly enough, 77-67. In a top 10 showdown, we had Kansas, number 3 Kansas beating number 7.
That was amazing.
That was a great game. Missouri was up by
They were up by
15?
No, 13.
13 points.
And then Kansas just came back, roaring back, beat them by a point. That was an amazing game.
I definitely see them being another number 1 seed along with Kentucky and Syracuse.
That was an amazing game to watch. Georgia upset Florida again. And then Purdue upsets Michigan 75-61. We are 1 week away, and this was Judgment Week, and deservedly called so. A lot of these teams did get judged. And not all of them passed.
All failed.
March Madness is edging closer, and I cannot wait. And getting into our groove of March Madness, a closer look at Ohio State here. Currently second in the Big Ten, sitting at 23-6. They are led by the big man, Jared Sullinger, at 16.8 points per game. They are currently 37th overall in points with 74.7, 80th in rebounds, 34th in assists, and 18th in field goal percentage. Those numbers don't look that good altogether, but when you have someone with the physicality of Jared Sullinger in there, anything is possible because that guy's a beast.
Beast mode. Oh wait, that's
hey.
And Tom, the other team we're going to take a slightly closer look at here is Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans, 24-6 currently, first in the Big Ten, ranked 5th overall. They are 81st overall.
Is that including their loss to Indiana last night?
Yes, that is including their loss.
You didn't mention it, so I wasn't sure.
Overall score 71-9. Overall, they are 71.9 points per game, and 22nd in rebounds, as well as 24th overall, and 32nd in assists. and field goal percentage. They are led by Draymond Green, who is an outstanding player with 16.1 points per game and 10.2 rebounds per game.
One women's basketball note. I know we don't talk a lot of women's basketball, but I thought this was worth noting. The UConn women, for only I think it's actually the second time in a row, had their 99-game home win streak snapped. They lost to St. John's the other night, and I thought that was pretty impressive to win 99 straight at home and to have the streak broken. So hats off to the St. John's women for pulling off that upset and beating the University of Connecticut at home.
Absolutely.
So moving on from that. That is sports for the week.
I have one more topic. Real quick. Forgot to mention. I'm not gonna go in depth about it. But the NBA All-Star Weekend was this past weekend. Saturday was the big festivities with the 3-point contest and the dunk contest and stuff like that. Kevin Love wins the 3-point contest. I don't even know who won the dunk contest because people in there have no clue who they were. No clue.
Okay.
I don't understand why he was with the dunk contest. Blake Griffin decided not to go in it. He won last year, so he doesn't defend his championship. I think the guy from the Timberwolves won. That's all I know. The best dunk I thought of the night was the guy from the Indiana Pacers who did a dunk in the dark. His
dunk in the dark.
Oh, his jersey was like glow in the dark, and he dunked in the dark.
Was he Chris Jericho?
Yeah,
glow in the dark attire.
Yeah, glow in the dark attire. So moving on to the game itself. All-Star game. It was the only big sporting event Sunday since NASCAR.
Yeah, Kobe got clocked.
Had a little bit of rain.
Kobe did get clocked.
Kobe got clocked by Dwayne Wade. Broke his nose.
You know, I don't watch a lot of NBA, but I think I may watch that game Sunday to see if there's any repercussions.
I mean, who plays defense that hard in an All-Star?
It was surprising because I was flipping back and forth between that and the Oscars, which I'll talk about a little bit later.
Oscars. That's a fail.
Anyway, but
the artist wins everything.
Anyway, so it was a one-sided game for a little bit. The West had a pretty big upper hand, and then I turned it back later, and it was very close. And the game came down 152-149. The East was down by 3, and again, I'm using another word here. I was befuddled.
What is with you in that word tonight?
I like it. I was befuddled because LeBron James is passing the ball in instead of taking the last shot.
You're Elmer befuddled.
I'm befuddled. I thought, and a lot of people talked about this week with the All-Star Game. A lot of people on First Take, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, they were wondering why LeBron didn't take the final shot. I completely agree. He should be able to take the final shot. He is one of the better clutch players taking shots. I don't remember who they passed it to. It might have been, I don't remember who they passed it to. Wasn't a good pass. They didn't get a shot off that was even close, and the West ends up winning 152-149. So, again, like All-Star games are, really no defense. The West wins that one 152-149. So.
All right, so now I guess we are wrap it up with sports, and now we move on to our weekly interview. Our OVW superstar this week was interviewed by yours truly.
This interview was Big Rocco Bellagio,
and it was a very scary interview.
Yeah, I think Postmaster was a little bit too frightened. Well, let's.
I might have was, man. I think I have a little wet spot on my pants.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
I had to go to the bathroom after that interview.
That's neither here nor there.
It was scary. Take a look.
Take a look for yourself. Were you scared? Find out.
We're standing here at the Davis Arena. This is Postmaster Joe, Triple Threat Talk, and I am standing here with the one and only Mr. Rocco Bellagio. Rocco, it's a pleasure to have you on the show this week. First off, I'd just like to get your take. I know you were off there for a while. Now that you're back and you've returned, what can we expect from Mr. Bellagio moving forward?
Yo, first of all, let me tell you something. You thought you saw a big, bad, 6'4", 250-pound human being before. Well, now, 2012, we got Rocco Bellagio. You better believe, whether it's Tampa, TNA, Ring of Honor, Rocco Bellagio is going to be there in 2012 year.
All right, and with that, I got a question. like to throw out to you guys. What is your inspiration? What got you started in this business? What made you want to become a professional wrestler?
I love wrestling since I was a little kid. Being sports-minded, every sport I've ever done, I've been great at. And I figured, guess what? If I join the wrestling business, I'll be great at that too. And guess what? It happened.
Apparently, Mr. Perez out here in the audience seems to have a problem with you. And now Dean Hill is doing some stuff to kind of set you off.
Yeah, they'll try. You know, they try to piss me off. They try to set me off. That's something you don't want to do.
I can imagine. He's an awfully big guy. I wouldn't want to make him mad. So, Mr. Bellagio, finally, I'd just like to ask. I know once before you were a OVW television champion, and I can definitely see possibly an OVW title run in your future. Could you see yourself becoming the OVW World Champion before 2012 has ended?
First of all, you also forgot that I was a tag team champion as well. And not only that, but I won the TV and the tag team titles within my first 8 months of business. This year, heavyweight championship, yeah, maybe, sure. First of all, I'm worried about that piece of crap next to me, Raul Romano. I'm taking him out tonight because he wants to mess with my boss, but guess what? Nobody messes with my boss. And you better believe tonight, Raul Romano and his buddy NRT are going.
All right, Mr. Bellagio, I really appreciate your time and thank you for being on the show.
All right.
I'm not scared.
Whoa, you weren't even there.
Whoa. I want to know.
So I wasn't scared.
Before we thank OVW.
Oh, yeah.
Before we thank OVW for all that they do, what is your beef with Randy Torres, man?
Yeah. I like the guy personally. Let's put it out there. I like the guy personally.
You certainly fooled me with what you've done.
Really.
What's going on here is the fact that,
Because right now Randy is watching, so you're talking to him.
Okay. He's got the red streak going down his hair. Why do you need to cry for attention, sir? Why? Let your in-ring talents go. And then you finally take the doctor's advice. You go after the OVW title, and you failed. You failed against Rudy Switchblade. That was a fail. And now all of a sudden, now Johnny Spade gets his shot at Saturday Night Special.
This Saturday.
Instead of you main eventing Saturday Night Special, Rudy Switchblade now main events Saturday Night Special against Johnny Spade. It could have been you. I don't know. I just think that my comments speak for themselves. I think I have valid points.
I think he's over the line.
Other people have said I have valid points, but other people as well have also said you're taking it way out of proportion. I'm always there to try to push people forward. And Randy Torres, you of all people need a push. You need a push forward.
Well, you know what? We were there at the taping tonight, and he feels that you're ducking him. Where are you at?
Yeah,
I was working.
That's no excuse.
I was working.
He said, and I quote, "Where is this man at?" And we're like, well, he's not going to be here tonight. He's like, that's unacceptable. Yeah. I think he's just scared to see me face to face.
I will be there next Wednesday, and I will face Randy Torres face to face.
Whoa, you're hearing it right now, Mr. Torres. The doctor is calling you out.
Whoa.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying I will be there face to face with Mr. Torres next week. Maybe we can get that.
His words will do his fighting for him.
Yeah.
He tries to do fighting his Range Rovers. Might have to take him on a body bag.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But again, I always want to thank OVW for all that they do this week. Rocco Bellagio, definitely awesome interview for us. It was pretty cool because he's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey, which is pretty cool. Very intimidating individual, as you saw.
He was very intimidating.
But it was awesome.
I liked it, though.
It was an awesome interview. It was different. Didn't really expect to have him. It was great to have him. And as always, go to ovwrestling.com. Check out their most recent episode. You can go to channel 138 WKYI on Saturdays at 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And you can also check out the website for the show on Thursdays. And check out facebook.com/TerryPBodie for all the inside information OVW we can't get to you. So this week, tapings were very interesting. With Christian Miscagni gone now.
Yeah, he's gone, by the way.
He's gone.
We have people that have been following. If you didn't know, Christian Miscagni was fired.
Let go. Yeah.
By OVW.
Reasons we do not know.
We do not have a definitive answer yet.
So
don't know if we ever will.
So now we have who's the leader of this Miscagni family now?
Lady JoJo.
No, you call her Josette Bynum.
I'm going to call her whatever I want to call her.
You're going to call her Josette Bynum. Show some respect.
She's going to be Lady JoJo.
So she's not Miss Gagney. Don't get on.
The only good thing, other than Rob Terry, about the family, I guess that's what they're being called now, is Mr. Spectacular.
That's way out of line.
What about
Goddard?
Ali Baez?
Which, by the way,
and the champ, Rudy Switchblade.
I'm probably Michael Hayes' biggest fan, but even I can't discount the fact that Muhammad Ali Baez is.
Again, you know what? I said this to Marcus Anthony. I said this to Randy Torres. I'm saying it to Ali Baez. I do not want to see you at OVW much longer.
I don't want to see you in there much longer.
Move on, buddy. You deserve it. So, with that, Josette Bynum, who's a new talent arbitrator at OVW, this is how they explained it. They explained it where they were married, these two, Josette and Christian Mascagni.
Okay.
And they got divorced. Mm-hmm. So, now...
she got the family.
She gets everything. She gets the talent. She gets the money. She gets all this stuff. So she's in charge of the she's in charge of the family now, as they're calling it. So the first match of the evening was Joe Coleman and Jack Black of Bowling Services 2.0.
I thought it was funny that Jesse Goddard's made a comment. Well, at least she looks a little cuter than.
Yeah, if you didn't hear it in the episode, after that segment was over, he's like, "Well, at least she's hotter than Miss Cagney."
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, Coleman and Black from Bowling 2.0 took on Nick Dumeyer,
the marksman,
and
aka Elmer Fudd,
and Nick Cutler.
The price cut?
Yeah, whatever his name is. Coleman and Black do get the win. Los Locos get involved after the match. And Bowling was going to shave the head of Anarchia, so he's going to try to even the odds a little bit. But Los Locos does get the upper hand. Rob Lamont gets the equalizer, the steel chair.
The steel chair.
But Josette comes out and says, no, my show. Apparently it's her show now, since she's in charge.
It's her show.
Talent arbitrator. So she makes, she came out and said it's not going to happen right now for this at this time.
Right.
So she makes the match, Los Locos versus all four Bowling 2.0.
For this week.
For this taping. So that was the past taping.
That was tonight, actually.
That was Wednesday night's taping.
Yes.
But the stipulation, as always, was if Miscavige made the matches, Trailer Park Trash, Frank Miller, the head of operations, gets to make a stipulation. His next stipulation is if Los Locos defeats Bowling 2.0, Christopher Bowling
Bollweevil
gets his head shaved bald. Look out for that this Saturday or on Thursday.
We were there for the taping.
We were there. Very exciting. Check it out this Saturday or the online.
They had some very good matches tonight.
We'll go over that after this taping.
Yeah, right.
So then Adam Revolver had a match against Chase King. He just faces people time to time. He's not all the time, but he's sometimes there. Pretty routine match for Adam Revolver. Then he goes in the back and comes on to Miss Brittany Deveray again.
Deveray.
So there's something.
When is he going to learn that sooner or later, maybe sooner rather than later, that Ted McNaylor is not going to stand for this tomfoolery that Adam Revolver thinks he can get over on Brittany Deveray.
I'll be honest, I like Revolver a little bit. He's got a little cocky swagger to him. I kind of like it.
You know what's going to happen?
Yeah, we'll see.
He's going to pay for it one day.
We'll pay for it one day. So that was that. Then we had the first ever edition of Brandon Espinosa's Straight Talk.
What is he? Mocking us now? Trying to be like us? Have his own show? What's wrong with you, Espinosa?
Should have been called Triple Threat Espinosa.
No, it should. He's Brandon Espinosa. And what's with this Chris lackey that he's got with him? Chris. It looks more like a Christina.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, you know.
Anyway, so his guest on was Mr. Paradise, good buddy of the show.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. James Long.
Whoa. That's not that's breaking kayfabe. So.
All right. Do not use the word kayfabe. What have I told you about that?
So Paradise and Espinosa have an altercation in the ring, and Espinosa gets the upper hand with the aid of Chris,
AKA.
Right. So after that, Muhammad Ali Baez took on
Christopher Silvio.
Moment of silence. S-I-L-V-I-O Silvio took on Muhammad Ali Baez for
a roller coaster.
No, it's middle finger.
Why are you?
Well, it's a family show. It's a family show. Family show. Anyway.
Kayfabing this.
Family show. Whatever. So Vaez takes on Silvio. Vaez is TV champion in his own right. So match is going along. And once again.
Oh, stop it.
Once again.
Stop. There he goes complaining.
Michael Hayes comes out and takes over the camera duties for.
How many times do we got to tell him?
The guy needed. Hey, you know what? These cameramen are on union mandated breaks. That guy did not receive his break. Michael Hayes was doing his job and relieving the cameraman for his union mandated break.
The guy had to go to the restroom.
No, he had to have his break.
No, and he had to go to the restroom. He had to go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Michael Hayes fills in. I mean, he's there to do everything. If you remember, Frank Miller, a.k.a. Trailer Park Trash, told him he's here to do everything. He's here to work the concession stand. He's here to polish the posts, fix the ropes. He's here to clean the toilets, mop the ring, whatever they need him to do. He's there to do it. So they needed him to run the camera.
If they need him to dress up as Chuckles the Clown, guess who's dressing up as Chuckles the Clown?
You!
Nah, no, it's going to be Michael Hayes.
You know, it's not a coincidence that for some reason, whenever they need him out by the ring, Vaez is out there.
It's like the world's biggest coincidence going on.
Yeah.
He couldn't go out some other time?
No, it just happened to be that he has to be out there at that time.
It's a screw job, but I don't like it.
If they didn't get that cameraman out, they could be facing legal action from the union.
He had to get out there right there.
Break out.
Don't you know, if you work over 6 hours without a break, you could be in trouble.
Pick your other times, Hayes. So, Ali Vaez ends up losing the match because of Michael Hayes. And then, so he complains to the new talent arbitrator, Jose Bynum. And she says, you know what? I'm officially reinstating Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes is back as a wrestler. Now he finally has the job he's meant to do. So.
Are you happy now?
Yes, he actually belongs where he's supposed to be.
Are you happy now? Are you gonna go off this tangent?
You're gonna go and cry.
Are you gonna get off your soapbox of tears about him being where he's not supposed to be?
Yes, I drank your tears.
Michael Hayes.
Are you done acting like children?
We're just acting like you because that's what you sound like. You sound like a freaking 10-year-old squawk box.
Anyway,
question.
Yes.
What's a squawk box?
If you have to ask.
That's right.
So anyway, back on topic here. So
we never left topic.
Well, we're
talking about your crime.
Well, anyway, so Hayes is reinstated by Jose Bynum, as I said,
which is epic.
So now the match is made for Saturday Night Special. Michael Hayes versus Ali Vaez. But Frank comes out and says, "No, wait. If you make the match, I get to make the stipulation." So he says, "Vaez, let's be real here. Every match you've had with Michael Hayes has ended with someone giving you the upper hand, including the cage match at the Saturday Night Special when they fought the last time."
Two Saturday Night Specials ago.
So Frank Miller says, "You know what? We need a special referee in this match. A special referee for Saturday Night Special." So this Saturday, March the 3rd, at the infamous Danny Davis Arena, you're going to have Michael Hayes in his return match against his old nemesis, Muhammad Ali Vaez, in a special referee match. And that special referee is D'Angelo Gennaro, the Pope from TNA. Pretty exciting, I would say.
What's so exciting about Elijah Burke?
Wow. Wow, he's pretty good. So that should be...
Did you see him run scared in that Waverly special? That was awesome.
I did. But it should be exciting to see him. I'll be honest with you. When he was in WWE, you really didn't see a lot of him because he was in ECW. When he went to TNA, he got big. He was one of the top guys, I thought. He was very, very entertaining. His gimmick was good. I actually enjoyed he was one of the people I enjoyed watching on TNA.
It doesn't take much to get big in TNA because there's not a lot there.
Well, Rob Terry. Or Jesse Goddard.
Well, Rob Terry's epic. Jesse Goddard's is epic.
So,
OVW right
speaking of Mr. Spectacular, Jesse Goddard. Yeah, show off.
By the way,
promote the shirt real quick. Go ahead.
By the way, if you all like this shirt,
stand up a little bit. I can't see the whole shirt.
And I know you do.
And turn around too.
On the front it says,
"Yeah, check that shirt
continuously
out.
awesome" with the spectacular pose.
Yeah, check that shirt out.
And on the
turn
back,
around, show us the merchandise.
It says Mr. Spectacular.
Why are you doing Rob Van Dam?
Right there. You can go to www.mrspectacular.com to get your very own Jesse Goddard's T-shirt.
Or you can go to OVW Tapes and pick them up yourself.
Which I suggested.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
it's
awesome.
$5 ever. You should fly in from wherever you're at to watch OVW.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
Live.
Anyway, so speaking of Mr.
See
Spectacular.
Triple Threat Talk.
Yes. Jesse Goddard and Rob Terry.
The Freak.
Yes. Took on the OVW Southern Tag Team Champions.
Smooth.
No! Slow your roll, sir.
Johnny, but it didn't happen.
No Johnny Spade.
Charlotte Jones.
Charlotte Jones
Yes.
and Jason Wayne. Johnny Spade was sent to an autograph signing by Joseph Bynum.
Really?
What a shocker.
So who won?
So because earlier in the night, shh.
Oh, sorry.
Earlier in the night, Frank Miller made the match. So guess what that means?
She makes
It's
the
stipulation. She not only makes it a handicap match, which enables Rudy Switchblade to come out, but she also makes it a no disqualification match, completely stacking the deck against Jones and
Shocker.
Jason Wayne. So who wins? Of course,
Shocker.
Jason Wayne and Sean Jones lose to Jesse Goddard, Rob Terry, and Switchblade. So after that,
Jason Wayne got hurt.
Jason Wayne got hurt after the match. They injured Jason Wayne's leg injured with a chair, and we can tell you now, as far as the taping tonight, we'll say Jason Wayne is out indefinitely with an injury. We don't know when he's going to come back. It's according to Frank Miller. So we'll see what happens with that. And
so Saturday Night Special is this week.
Before we get into that, we'll talk about a little bit about what happened tonight. You have Chris Silvio defends his TV title against the Bear, Tony Gunn.
The Bear.
You have a match between. I'm trying to think of other ones here.
You had let's see.
The handicap match.
Well, that's the main event.
You had the main event.
Main event, the Los Locos versus Bone Service 2.0 in the main event. Bone's hair was on the line in that match.
You had Lennox Norris
versus Randy Torres. I don't know if that'll be on TV or not.
That'll be on TV or not. You had Jesse Goddard's versus
Nick Cutler.
Nick Cutler, the price
match.
cut.
And then
you had Dylan Bostic
versus Chase
King.
It didn't happen, did it?
Didn't happen, but you got to see.
You got to check it out this week. We're not going to give you any spoilers away for that, but you got to check it out this week. See what happens with that.
I think you had Sexy Sean Casey
and Raphael Constantine
as
Ecstasy.
C.
Really?
You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
This new Australian
versus this new Australian that was. Holy cow! These guys are going to be phenomenal.
I hope it's on TV because it was very good.
It was a very good match.
So,
I think they had the initials NMDK.
I don't remember what it was. So that's it for OVW this week. This Saturday looks pretty interesting.
You have Johnny Spade going for the OVW title against Rudy Switchblade.
I think he's going to win.
You have
Michael
Hayes versus Muhammad Ali Vaez.
Pope as the ref.
With Pope as the ref. You have...
That's it. We can talk about...
two other matches were made, but we don't want to give them away because they were announced on the show tonight.
I hate to tell you this. There's only one way you can watch Saturday Night Special, and that's if you go. So if you don't live in the Louisville area, I do apologize for that.
But you can go in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can go to www.ovwrestling.com and purchase the DVD of this Saturday Night Special. Yeah. And obviously, we will tell you next week if it's worth buying, and 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be worth buying.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, 99 out of 100.
Yeah. So.
Ever since we've been going, it's been a very interesting and very well-produced product.
So that covers OVW this week. We thank everybody at OVW, Terry Bodie, Frank Miller, and all the boys and girls at OVW. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we can't thank you enough.
One more quick OVW. This is a friend of the show. Kayla Marie, she fought Taylor Hendricks in Frankfurt on Friday, which is a big deal for her because she's a developmental wrestler, and facing the champ is a pretty big deal, I think. So she lost the match, but it's a learning experience.
Good for her.
So, no SmackDown results this week.
Thank you.
Because
SmackDown results.
Because SmackDown was live on Tuesday and it re-aired on Friday. But I do have a preview of SmackDown real quick. Randy Orton returns to take on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. And
per the board of directors, the GMs will switch. Teddy Long will be on Raw, and John Lawrence will be on SmackDown.
Of all the talk about board of directors, for once, just once, I'd love to see these guys in person.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't know who they are.
Everybody said when CM Punk said, John Laurinaitis at first. Who's this guy? And now we've got to see him. Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
I don't mean permanently. I just say for once. Everybody says board of directors that.
Put their picture up on WWE.com. That'll be good enough.
Let us see who the heck
Have a photo more like this, like.
Hey, don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Sorry. Jeez.
I will put you in a torture rack.
All right.
Anyway, enough of this tomfoolery. So now we move on to Monday Night Raw. Oh, what a Raw it was. So CM Punk, Chris Jericho come out.
I watched it on delay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because of NASCAR. Daytona, as it were.
Daytona. Sorry.
CM Punk and Chris Jericho got an altercation. CM Punk and Chris Jericho got an altercation. And their feud is building towards WrestleMania, which I think is a good feud thus far. Best in the world. Best in the world of what he does. Blah blah blah. They had some things back and forth. Punk called him out on Dancing with the Stars, and Punk mentioned Chris Browning, as I said earlier.
I think if Chris Jericho doesn't win at WrestleMania, would it be considered dumb, a fail, or confusing?
It'd be confusing, and I could almost throw it to the similar situation where he came back in 2007, and he was a face, and he fought Randy Orton for the title, and he didn't win the title. It'd be the same situation that you build up all this hype.
He did the same thing, was it 2 years ago? Then he came back and he fought Edge.
Edge came back and didn't win.
Yeah.
So same situation.
It's kind of a weird situation.
So I wouldn't think anything of it.
I think Jericho is definitely primed to win.
I think Jericho should win.
But it's going to be a tremendous match. These two are and Punk said no pyro. Well, it's going to be pyro for Jericho. Obviously, but it's like no pyro, no Twitter, no Dance with the Stars. It's going to be me versus you in the ring. That's all we need. And I completely agree with him. Their skills are going to tell a story in that match. So the first match of the evening was CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan.
I think Punk is just jealous because he doesn't have a jacket that lights up in the dark.
But he has its clobbering time.
He does. And ice cream bars.
So, which is amazing.
Daniel Bryan and CM Punk match ended in a no contest.
Why?
Santino got involved in the apron, so did David Otunga, and things happened, and Daniel Bryan runs off, but then Sheamus throws him back in the ring. CM Punk gets the GTS line, and it's like, no, call it off. So then Punk goes up on the ramp, and Jericho slams him on the seal. I didn't feel too good for him, I'd imagine.
No, it probably did not. I would say that probably ouchie-oochie, that hurt.
So then, rematch of last year's WrestleMania main event, John Cena and The Miz. And John Cena defeated The Miz, no surprise there.
No surprise.
So then on WWE.com...
This is funny, I don't know if you saw it.
WWE.com, The Miz is complaining, where's my WrestleMania match? I should be in the main event, blah, blah, blah. Miz whining and complaining as he usually does. So he says, I want someone of authority to come out here right now and do something about this. Someone of authority came out. The COO, Triple H, came out. And he gave The Miz a nice pedigree for his troubles. And then he left. So The Miz got not what he wanted.
I think The Miz is going to be in a WrestleMania match if they have Money in the Bank.
Possibly.
I think that would be... Because I can't really figure out any other way to work them into the show. I mean, they got 30-something days, about 30 days to figure it out. Right. So they may find something for him to do. But I think as of right now, the best fit would be, like I said, if they bring back Money in the Bank ladder, he'd be in it.
Yeah. So two tag team matches that occurred. First was Primo and Epico, the tag team champions.
Epico!
I don't know if it was for the titles or not. Defeated Kofi Kingston and R-Truth and Dolph Ziggler.
It was for the champions.
It was okay. It was a triangle tag match. And Primo and Epico.
That's a pretty good match. I mean,
yeah. I think it's good that Primo and Epico are getting the exposure.
I don't necessarily mean the match. I mean the match. Right. I mean the synopsis.
Right.
Because we haven't seen a triangle tag team match like that in a while.
Right.
I mean,
so
we don't see that.
I think it's good that Primo and Epico won, proving that they are deserving of the tag team championships. And I see possibly a match with the Usos at WrestleMania. Maybe another tag team thrown in there. Some exciting. We'll see. And a match I really didn't care for because of who was in it. Sheamus, who I obviously like, with the Big Show as a tag team partner. What a fail!
How's that for you?
What a fail of a tag team.
How do you like Sheamus when he gets Cody Rhodes? What'd that do for you?
It's like you have epic and a fail on the same screen.
Epic fail. It's epic fail versus epic fail because you have Sheamus and Big Show.
Epic fail.
And then you have Rhodes and Henry.
Epic fail.
See, so
Henry's
was epic.
Henry's not that bad.
Instead of spy v spy, fail v fail.
Yeah. So Sheamus and Big Show, Sheamus and Big Show defeated Henry and Cody Rhodes. But before that match occurred, Cody Rhodes again made an attempt to embarrass the Big Show, and he did so by showing the clip of Floyd Mayweather punking him out at No Way Out before WrestleMania that year that he fought at WrestleMania 24 in Miami at Sun Life Stadium, I believe it was. Sunlight.
Whatever.
And then he showed the match at WrestleMania.
They changed his name so much, it's ridiculous.
Showed the match at WrestleMania where Floyd Mayweather knocked out the Big Show with the brass knuckles. So, Big Show's WrestleMania record, it sucks, but who cares?
I mean, he lost to a sumo wrestler. He's lost to Floyd Mayweather.
He's got another streak of his own going.
Yeah, really. So that match was that match. And then the big debate of the evening.
Definitely our debate.
The Rock and John Cena.
Well, before you get into the debate, just real quick, we want to plug that the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
I was going to get to that next.
Oh, okay.
I was going to get it at the end.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Well, it's already the cat's out of the bag now. Next week,
Shawn was already out of the bag, obviously.
Well, Shawn Michaels will be on Raw next week to see what he's got to say about the match at WrestleMania between Triple H.
I know you're excited. Between see Shawn Michaels again.
Triple H and Undertaker.
For the second time.
In a Hell in a Cell.
I think eventually, maybe this coming Monday we'll find out, but Shawn Michaels is going to have something to do with this match.
Yeah, probably. So getting back to the topic at hand with the main part of the show.
The debate.
The Rock addressed the universe, and Cena came out to confront The Rock. We all saw what happened. You watched it. You saw it live, or saw it if you DVR'd it, like some people. You.
This guy.
So what are your thoughts on all this? I thought it was a very good promo. I thought it was very good by both men. Good job on the mic by both of the guys. What is your take from it?
I thought my take was simply this, and we can talk about it because me and you talked about it earlier. Me and you talked about it yesterday. Me personally, I thought that John Cena had got the better of the two.
Yeah.
And apparently you're telling me now that you found out today that WWE wanted it that way.
Yeah.
And that they actually had The Rock do that.
Yeah.
Put the notes on his arm or wrist or whatever.
It was on the arm, yeah.
Because they wanted Cena to get over on The Rock.
Yeah.
And I pose this question to you. Do you think they did that because Cena was going to get there late regardless because of the Daytona commitments? So they did that to kind of...
Well,
because they couldn't really piece a good thing together because Cena wasn't there.
Well, Cena needs no extra fire to go after The Rock. He's already did the week before.
Oh, I know.
He needs nothing. He needs no extra incentive.
I think it's a legitimate hate against The Rock.
I
really do.
JR tweeted about it. People are tweeting about it. There's a definite real beef between The Rock and John Cena.
I think so.
Or sorry, Dwayne Johnson and John Cena.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think John got the better of the two.
Yeah.
I know the doctor has a different opinion. I know you agreed with me, thinking John Cena definitely.
I'll tell you why. That's very good.
Definitely got the better of the two, and I loved at the end of when Cena was out there. He looked at The Rock and said, I'm going to go, but for now you keep trending, and he walks out. Yeah. That was absolutely amazing.
that was like you ever see like 8 Mile, like the rap battle they finished, and everyone's like, oh, that was it right there.
That was it. It was that. And it went from Cena sucks to just Cena. They were going Cena, Cena, Cena.
I think the WWE agrees with a lot of what he's saying about The Rock.
Yeah, just like I said on that Facebook post a couple weeks ago. It was like, he's going to come in, he's going to cash his check, and he's going to be gone faster than his movies at the box office. Just like I said last week.
Yeah.
So.
I think had it not been for one thing that The Rock said, that The Rock would have won over with the fans. And I think a lot of people, it's one of those things where, the WWE intended The Rock to win, but he said something that kind of contradicted that, and that was, to me at least, to my opinion, like I said, if it wasn't for this statement, I would be in full agreement with you all. John Cena last week said, I'm fighting this match for the people in the back. Well, The Rock countered that perfectly and said, you may be fighting for the people in the back, but I'm fighting for all these fans out here. And I think, in my opinion, that statement alone put The Rock over on John Cena and had The Rock winning the debate last night, because
Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. All Cena had to do come out and say, you keep trending, and then he walked away. I mean, I know he did it for the emphasis, like walking away, I'm done with you. I get that. I understand that.
Right.
But when The Rock said, better walk away, else I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth. And then people started chanting, Rocky, Rocky, right after the Cena chant. the show went off the air with the Rocky chant. I think The Rock won. I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, I just want it out there. I would completely agree with you all if it wasn't for that statement.
The reason I was saying Cena won is because after that statement, Cena made obviously his points. I think Cena is one of the best on the mic ever. I think he's right up there with The Rock, I think. But the thing that when he said that statement, when he was talking about all this stuff, like, you got this to trend and that to trend, right? He says, you go on, I'm going to leave. You go keep trending and drop the mic and walked away. I've never seen this before from The Rock. The Rock, once again, he looked befuddled. He was not really saying the words right. The words were coming out. He was kind of stumbling over his words. Cena got to him mentally. And The Rock could say, oh, what are you talking about? John Cena basically said, I like The Rock. I do not like Dwayne Johnson. He likes The Rock. He got to know Dwayne Johnson, and the person is, he's a self-centered son of a bitch, he said, pretty much. He said that. So,
whoa!
So he said that, and...
You know I gave him that look.
Yeah. He said that, and it's there's definitely a beef, like we said. There's definitely a beef between The Rock and Dwayne Johnson, John Cena and The Rock, whatever. But I completely agree. I think Cena won. He made some valid points, and he definitely got in The Rock's head, that's for sure.
So they're definitely building towards WrestleMania, the biggest wrestling show of the year. Absolutely. It's about a month away now. So
we're on the road.
We are definitely on the fast track to WrestleMania, and that wraps up wrestling this week. Good topics from wrestling and sports this week. Guys, got a wild card this week?
Go ahead.
You got a wild card?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yours is kind of lame.
Well,
yours is kind of lame because I didn't know we lived in the 20s where silent films win awards. It's kind of boring. But go ahead.
My wild card's not very long. It's just Oscars were the past Sunday. That was the big other thing on that Sunday. I mean, obviously, in the beginning of the day, you had the Daytona 500, the All-Star Game, and the Oscars. Well, that changed from just... Actually, you had this many things on Sunday. You had the All-Star Game.
Full Metal Jousting.
Well, that.
It was actually on during the Oscars.
Oscars, All-Star Game, Full Metal Jousting. Supposed to be the Daytona 500. That took a back seat. And The Walking Dead.
Which is a fail.
No.
I hate that show.
Yeah, you can hate all you want. It's still good. So it was an action-packed Sunday, but I'm going to get into the Oscars real quick. It was a good show. I thought Billy Crystal did a good job hosting. It was pretty funny. Some awards that were given out. John Desjardins won for The Arts, which I do want to see. Looks like an interesting movie. It looks very
Why?
good. It looks very good.
Why do you want to sit and look at a film that nobody talks?
It looks it's different. It's very different. It looks very good.
This is not the 1920s. We're not going to the theater to watch Charlie Chaplin. I want to go to the theater to watch Bruce Willis blow some crap up and say, yippee-yi-ki-yay, mother, weep.
Anyway, so...
Or say, cholesterol's a little high.
Exactly. Some other things that occurred. Artist won Best Picture.
What did?
Artist won Best
Stupid silent film.
Artist won Best Picture. There's a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction with this Jennifer Lopez, if you didn't see that.
I didn't watch the Oscars, so no.
And then, I mean, I could talk about a lot of stuff, but the big thing, the awards and all of the films. I didn't see any of these films, to be honest with you. I didn't see a lot of them. But it's good to see the movies celebrated and all the good, actors and actresses getting recognized. So, but the one thing I do want to mention, it's a very controversial issue that happened at the red carpet. Was Sacha Baron Cohen, from Borat and Bruno and all those things.
Now this I know about.
Okay, this is my big focal point of the wild card.
You just made it your only point.
Whatever. So his new movie is The Dictator. Comes out with this dictator, long beard, kind of look like Fidel Castro a little bit, From this movie, which I do want to see, looks very funny. He has an urn with him, supposedly. The remains of Kim Jong-il.
What is he? Paul Beer. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
So he has the remains of Kim Jong-il, allegedly. He sees Ryan Seacrest, and Seacrest, he's a smart guy. He knows it's not going to go well because he's in character. He did it a couple years ago when he was Borat. So
now that was
So this was interesting. He goes up to Ryan Seacrest. He starts talking with him a little bit, and then oops, the remains, or as Ryan Seacrest called it, pancake mix. Fell over all the jacket, the nice tuxedo.
Oh no!
Of Ryan
They say he didn't know he was gonna do it. I think that's a lie.
Ryan Seacrest.
Do you think that was planned?
Probably.
I would say probably.
Was it kayfabed?
There's actually some controversy about it because they said he could technically get thrown in jail and pay a fine because it was kind of like assault or something. I read a bit of a story about it.
Please.
It said if Ryan Seacrest pressed the charges or not. I don't know. It's very weird. Honestly, I think this was a stunt. You have to know Baron Cohen, okay? When he gets into character, he gets into character, whether it's Borat or Bruno or Ali G or this thing, the dictator. When he's in character, he is that character. He's not Sacha Baron Cohen. He is that character. So you have
he takes it too far.
You have to expect
kind of
this.
like someone else we know.
Yeah. Bowie. But you have to expect that from Sacha Baron Cohen. So if this gets blown out of proportion, it's silly, it's stupid. It's his character. That's him promoting the movie. Just get over it. It's what he's gonna do. You have to expect it from the guy. So that's my wild card.
Lovely.
This week, one of the most anticipated animated films already of the year came out, Justice League Doom. It got a 7 out of 10 for a regular film, like off the it caters to these people's sites. It got a 7 out of 10 overall, which is pretty much, like I told Postmaster, pretty much unheard of unless it's a Pixar film. So 7 out of 10, pretty good. It got 5 out of 5 on most comic book sites and all that stuff. Very good. Woo! You're gonna like it because the Batman is a central character. It's loosely based off of Tower of Babel, which is DC's comic book where Ra's al Ghul steals Batman's secret files on how to beat the Justice League in the event they go rogue. Instead of Ra's al Ghul, though, they use Vandal Savage, which is a fail.
Let me ask you a question. About that. Is Aquaman in this?
No.
Good, then I'm seeing it.
No.
Okay. That's good.
Aquaman, the Justice League.
Worst superhero ever.
The Justice Leaguers that they use are Hal Jordan instead of Jon Stewart for Green Lantern. Awesome. Martian Manhunter. They add Cyborg to the mix. Of course, from the Teen Titans.
Borrow that. I want to see this.
Yeah, you can borrow that. They have Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So those are the Justice Leaguers. The bad guys, you actually have 2 bad guys that have never been in a movie like full on before. One is Malefalac, which is of course the opposite of Martian Manhunter, and then you have Metallo, who has been in there. The other one, Vandal Savage, this is actually his first animated movie. And then you have the Mirror Master, who also is making a debut in motion pictures, which is the Flash's opposite. Bane, which is not really Batman's arch-rival, but is a pretty good...
he's a pretty big dude.
And then you had Cheetah, and there was one more in there. Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire, which is not Green Lantern's main person, but is also one of his enemies, because of course there's Sinestro. So it's a pretty good movie, definitely worth the check out. Gotta watch it on Blu-ray, because on Blu-ray makes everything look better. So
in Blu-ray.
So that's my wild card. Just kind of giving a plug for JLA Doom, and it turned out to be pretty
We're not sponsored by any of these companies. We're just.
So my wild card this week
is it probably a fail, like always.
It could be, yeah. Actually, my wild card. I just have one quick thing to say. Get your popcorn ready, boys.
Oh, I was waiting for someone to mention this.
Mr. Terrell Owens makes his debut for the Austin Wranglers.
Woohoo.
So you're thinking, yeah, well, I thought it was well to note he caught 3 touchdown passes.
53 yards.
53 yards for 3 TDs in his debut for the Austin Wranglers of the IFL, I believe it is.
IFL, Indoor Football League.
Indoor Football League. It's not even Arena Football League. No, it's the Indoor Football League.
Football.
You would think with as famous as he is and all the people he knows, that maybe he should have hooked up with Bon Jovi and he could have been on the Bon Jovi owned Arena Football, the Philadelphia Soul, right?
Yes.
That would have been a good fit. I mean, he was an Eagle. He could go back to Philadelphia. And,
I like Arena Football. It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, Arena Football is exciting.
Pretty good.
Go Georgia Force.
It's a lot different than, I think it's where Kurt Warner got his start. He played for the Iowa Barnstormers.
Iowa. Known for its football, for sure.
I don't know if they're around anymore.
I don't even know if they're around anymore.
Somebody changed Arena Football.
A little plug there for Mr. Owens for I thought it'd be good.
No, I was surprised because he said he was having problems with his legs. They don't really went after his legs. They went kind of high on him, so they don't really pay attention to that injury.
Right.
They want to test it, so we'll see how it goes. I don't think this actually helps him.
No.
I mean, really, it's the IFL.
Yeah, I mean,
if it was the AFL, maybe you get another shot in the NFL. But I think this is the end of Terrell Owens' career.
Yeah, I mean, but even still, I mean, hey, hats off to him for staying with it, trying
to stay relevant. Anyway, SportsCenter showed it.
So yeah, of course they're going to show it.
Of course.
So I think that wraps things up this week.
Any idiots of the week? Anybody?
I don't think we had any idiots.
How 2 weeks in a row? No idiot of the week.
Everyone's keeping it. Everyone knows we're going to call them out.
People are staying out of trouble. That's good.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
That is a very good thing.
So, good show as always. Next week on the show, we'll definitely talk about Saturday Night Special, what happened there. More basketball news and every sports news we can find and we can get our hands on.
We'll recap the week that was going left at Phoenix.
Absolutely. So, if you want to like us on Facebook, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter at triplethreattalk. And you can send us any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. So for Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones, and if I don't get my car back soon, I'm going to be very depressed.
And this is the Doctor. And won't it be something if you get your car back and the Tony Stewart autograph is gone?
I just put him down. Thanks for watching, guys. That wasn't spectacular at all. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.